Hi, GenderBlenders. Welcome to week 89. This week's question is, National Coming Out Day is October 11th. So this week, share your thoughts and experiences surrounding coming out. This is Stephie, and I'm still in Thailand. No, this is my den. So I'm still recording this the same day as I did last week's video. I'm recording it September 30th. However, I am in Thailand recovering from SRS. By this time, I should be in the hotel. So basically, what I did is change the bling a little teeny bit and recorded a different video. This is week 89 video. And it's a very nice question. There's a lot of emotions that are happening, that are going through my mind right now, recounting coming up with what I felt when I came out. Because, you know, you come out in stages, I think. I don't think anyone just waves a magic wand and all of a sudden they go from gender 1 to gender 2 and everybody accepts them for what they are and the story. I don't think anything like that ever happens in real life. So, let me recount some of the stages and, you know, some of my thoughts and experiences. Coming out to myself. I've said way more than once that I didn't understand that I was trans until the girl emerged in me. And I got some assistance and I finally realized that, hey, I was a girl. And that realization was coming out to me. However, from that point, I never looked back. I did finally understand, aha, that's what's wrong with me, and it makes sense. And as soon as I recognized that, that's when I came out to myself. But you know, once I did realize that, there was no way that you were going to stop me. No way, no how, for nothing. So, I came out to a few selected people at work. I think I mentioned that before. Came out to a new doctor. Told him what I was doing. And asked him to supervise me. He's turned out to be an absolutely wonderful doctor. In public, though, well, doctor's office is public. I'll get into the work issue in a little bit because that was kind of over a period of time. Disneyland and the Pride Parade are probably the first examples of me coming out in public. I went to the Pride Parade dressed in my true gender. I didn't pass very well, but nevertheless I did go to last year's, not this year, but last year's Pride Parade dressed in my new gender. I came out at Disneyland. I figured that's going to be a safe place. So I started going to Disneyland, dressed as a woman. Tried it out the first few times by going, you know, androgynous clothes and things like that. Finally got up the courage to go as me. I was scared. You're asking for our thoughts and experiences. I was scared, of course. I didn't know what was going to happen. Didn't know if I was going to get beat up. What was going to happen to me? Killed. But you know, You're also asking for my experiences, and they were all positive. Everywhere I went, I was accepted for who I am, without exception. And that's absolutely wonderful. You know, I think a lot of that has to do with I stayed positive for everything. So people that knew me didn't see a hesitant person. Here's a person that knows what they're doing. And did I feel that way inside? No. I wasn't nearly that confident inside, but I portrayed that outside. And you know, after living a life in the wrong gender, you end up learning to be a pretty good actor or actress, don't you? Coming out to my son. I came out to my son at what's called adoration at church. It's a little thing that we Catholics do. And it freaked him out for only a few minutes. See, he went with me one night. And I got the go-ahead, so shall we say, to tell him what was going on. And it freaked him out for a few minutes, but you know, ultimately improved his own growth. So that's my experience in that arena. That was the best thing could have happened to him. It was the best thing, certainly, this transformation that ever happened to me. Coming out at work. I laid a lot of groundwork for coming out at work. I pulled some pranks. On certain days, I would put fishnet stockings on under my pants. You know, trousers. And at that time, I was really going through what I knew I had to do. So I was dressed androgynously in female clothes, except the only way that you'd notice it, guys never notice anything like that. But you know, if you're a guy, you know, you can, if you push towards the zipper in your pants, you know, you go this way. Except for women, they have to go this way, kind of a thing. Buttons are on the other side. No one noticed those little details. But, you know, I was wearing women's trousers, pants, slacks, and I had some fishnet stockings on underneath. That was cool. And I would tease some folks, and I think I've mentioned this story before. You know, one of the ladies that I mentioned at work who's really a really wonderful person, Norma. I've mentioned her before. I teased her a couple times because, you know, one time she asked me, you know, how come you're carrying these little straws in my pocket? And I told her that's to remind me to stop and get pantyhose on the way back. And it kind of, huh? What? And I said, sure, I'm wearing pantyhose. And I lifted my pant legs up. And, yeah, nice pair of fishnet stockings on underneath. And she couldn't stop laughing for a long time on that one. So I did that. The Hawaiian luau. We had a Hawaiian luau, the most outrageous t-shirt contest that I came in. Kind of stuff like this, you know, the lays. And I had a bikini top. And a lay, and a little head lay. And a short grass skirt and bikini bottom on underneath the short grass skirt because it didn't really cover things. I was perfectly comfortable with that. Hands down, I won that contest. Very shortly thereafter, I had put the URL up on describing my YouTube ventures. At that point, I had started making YouTube videos. And someone finally noticed. So, yeah, Wes, you were the first one. And so I came out at work and didn't have an ounce of problem at work. That was wonderful. finally I came out. So that I really staged that. At work, I staged that. And I did that purposefully because I didn't want a problem at work. Because I spend most of my time at work. And I didn't really want a problem. And I didn't get a problem. So I staged it and it worked just great. Because I'd gotten people used to me being, well, maybe a little different. Coming out of church was the last place I came out to. Came out to the pastor, told him what I was doing, and I told him why I was doing it. And then to my Bible study group, and then to the church at large, to the my fellow ushers and usherettes. I told them what I was and what I was about to do, coming in women's clothes. And that worked great. You know, I have a little video called Something Wonderful at our fish fry on my channel. And that describes, you know, some of the wonderful things that happened after I was out at church. And everyone loved it. You know, by the way, my pastor, his comment was, so? I thought that was kind of funny. So, I was worried about that, but, you know, I was prepared that if I wasn't going to be accepted, I was not going to stop. I would deal with it, and God would help me deal with it. And He has. So I haven't had any trouble at the church. Conclusions, I think this has been less traumatic than I ever would have thought that it was going to be. But you know, if you're positive, and if you're real, and people can see what you're doing and how much it's benefiting you, they have a hard time bashing you because they can't bash a real person. They can only bash a stereotype. And I never fit into the stereotype molds. So that's my answer to this week's video. I'm actually running out of time between now and when I leave for Thailand, so I'm not sure that I'm going to get next week's in or not, but I will certainly try to, but I don't think that I will. I certainly don't have time yet tonight. It's getting a little bit too late. I've got some clothes in the dryer right now. As soon as they're done, I got to put them away and head off and bye-bye, sleepy land. Anyway, thanks everyone. This is my take on this week's video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Until I talk to you again, this is Stephie saying bye-bye everyone.